Over the years, much has changed, but there is one thing that will never be lost. Anywhere in the world, you will learn something new, a lesson that will open our minds about history, culture, and tradition that different places have to offer. That's the power of heritage, a legacy that holds a bigger role that we should protect and be proud of. Good morning, everyone! Come join us for another adventure and let's explore the golden heritage of wonderful places around the world.
Mahatma Gandhi once said, "A nation's culture resides in the hearts and in the soul of its people." Heritage tourism is not always about the monuments, the museums, or any artifact that can be touched. Heritage tourism gives importance to the values and the teachings that each culture has contributed into who we are today. One of the protected heritage sites is the beautiful rock-cut architecture and innovative water management system of Petra in Jordan. Petra is called the Rose City because of its pink sandstone cliffs that contain stones and temples. Some of these sites, cultural practice, and artifacts may be old and forgotten, but the beauty of it is that it will always be there. Heritage tourism deserves the right to be protected, for it holds the story of our community's history and it is proof that we have evolved. These things might be forgotten by our thoughts, but they will always be remembered by our souls. We continue with our lives without noticing how heritage tourism affects it. Heritage tourism flows into our veins and brings life into our minds and souls. I am your shopping enthusiast ng Real Quezon, Adi.
A people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Siniloan is known to have at least 13 waterfalls and perhaps more that are yet to be exposed to public attention. The most popular ones are tucked in the slope of Mount Tremelo, the southwest border of the Sierra Madre mountain range. With summit elevation of only 240 meters above sea level, trekking Mount Tremelo is relatively an easy feat and yet a rewarding one. This small mountain, more of a hill, hides a lot of beautiful surprises in the form of its majestic cascades. Puruisan Falls is the most famous and possibly the most beautiful waterfalls in Mount Tremelo. Its water is very cold and clear, very ideal for swimming and a good way for stress relief. The area is abundant in green vegetation that adds to the beauty of the falls. It is really amazing and fascinating. You will surely be captivated by its beauty. The sound of the falling waters will let you feel a sense of excitement. The area is very calm and peaceful. This kind of heritage site must not be destroyed or defaced. They must maintain the overall appearance and authenticity. Always remember that no legacy is so rich as heritage. Ang madiskateng online seller ng Laguna, Jane.
To know nothing of what happened before you is to forever remain a child by Cicero. Cultural heritage tourism means traveling to experience the places and activities that authentically represent the stories and people of the past and present. It includes irreplaceable history, cultural, and natural resources. People often combine their love of history with other tourist delights like shopping, amusement park visits, and luxurious resort stays. So places that have a rich heritage and have at the same time designed a fine tourist infrastructure to cater all categories of tourists get rated the highest in terms of popularity as tourist destinations. Take for an example, Bacolod. It is the capital city of the province of Negros Occidental in the Philippines. It is known as the City of Smiles because of its Mascara Festival, a Mardi Gras-like festival, and a spectacularly vivid mix of dance, color, and music. You will surely smile once you get to see the ruins, a symbol of love. The story of this edifice started when the wealthy sugar baron Don Mariano Ledesma Lacson met Maria Braga, a Portuguese lady from Macau in one of his travels. He fell in love with her so quickly that it did not take long for him to ask the hands of Maria Braga for marriage. The two then got married and settled in Mariana's ancestral house situated in a 440-hectare plantation in Talisay. Their love resulted in them having 10 children. The ruins was once a mansion built by Don Mariano to express his undying endearment for his wife who died giving birth to their 11th child in 1911. Later, the mansion was burned down by the Americans to prevent Japanese forces from making it their base camp. It took 3 days to burn the 2-inch hardwood floor, but the A-grade cement still remains. Right now, the ruins is dubbed as the Taj Mahal of Negros. It is also a popular tourist spot as many visitors flock the site to see the remains of the building. The landmark has also served as a venue for photo shoots and for concerts by a few local acoustic artists. Ang Miss Tinita ng Antipolo, Andrea.
A good traveler has no fixed plans and it's not intention arriving. By Lao Tzu. Heritage tourism is traveling to experience the places, artifacts, activities that authentically represent the stories and people of the past. There is a town in a country named after their own city of Spain. The town was originally called Danlog, not until the Spanish colonizer named it Barcelona in the year 1886 as it resembled the topography of the Spanish city. Barcelona is famous for its historical and heritage structures that portray the rich past of the town. St. Joseph Paris Church, also known as Barcelona Church, nestled at the center of the town. This well-preserved century-old church is one of the oldest churches in Bicol. It was constructed under the term of Governor Dorcilio Juan Ibasco in the year 1874. I remember my high school teacher told us an interesting fact about this church. He said that this majestic structure was built using only a lime and egg yolks to plaster the coral stones that were used for the buildings, facade, and walls. The church has undergone several restorations, however, the locals still managed to preserve the original walls, belfry, and facade of the building which reflect its history. Barcelona Ruins Park, just across the St. Joseph Paris, is the town's park housing the surviving edifice of the Presidential Building and Old School Building. Presidential Building, a 146-year-old well-preserved ruin situated on the shoreline of the town facing the Pacific Ocean. The Presidential used to house the Governor Dorcilio and its government during the Spanish occupation. Because of the strategic location of the structure, it was also believed to serve as a fortress to protect the town against the attack of Moro pirates. In addition, locals say there is an underground tunnel that leads you to the St. Joseph Paris Church across the street. Old School Stone Building. This building, erected just within the vicinity of the park, served as the school for the children of ilustrados or wealthy families back in the days. Life is too short, kaya arat na, mag-travel na. I am tourism student from Fredo Diaz Sorsogon, Cursed.
With the right people, culture, and values, you can accomplish great things. By Tricia Griffith. Cultural heritage gives us a verifiable association with the past to a specific social qualities, convictions, traditions, and customs. These permit us to recognize ourselves with others and extend our feelings of solidarity, belongings, and national pride. Keeping our history alive improves our environment, and if you have a fascination in traditional architecture, then Calatagan Lighthouse is a great site for you. The lighthouse is also well known in the Philippines as Punta de Santiago or Faro de Punta Santiago, but some of us call it Cape Santiago. Located in Barangay Bagol Silang, Calatagan, Batangas, a national historical landmark constructed by the Spanish colonial authorities in the Philippines from 1846 to 1896. As part of the plan, General de Alumbrado de Maritimo de las Costas del Archipelago de Filipino, or Master Plan for the Lighting of the Maritime Coast of the Philippine Archipelago. The name Santiago was named after then owner of the land, Don Santiago Subel. He personally donated the 1-hectare property for the construction of the lighthouse. What makes it unique is its round shape. Inside the tower, you can establish how old it is. The interiors are made of bricks and lime cement. The red round structure is 15.5 meters or 51 feet tall. A spiral staircase made of cast iron with 65 steps leads you on top of the lighthouse. It is also survives conflicts with Spain, United States, and Japan. Even now, the scars of the combat may be seen in the grills or if its gate. It is claimed to be Calatagan's oldest structure today and one of the oldest lighthouse in the Philippines. A great hillside from the side of the shore with the blue sky was fantastic. And the interesting part is, it is still operational. Let's take a trip back in time in Cape Santiago Lighthouse, and here I am saying, preservation, hold on to memories. Alluring tourism student of Calatagan, Rian.
Culture Opened the Sense of Beauty by Ralph Waldo Emerson. The success of tourism is a vital aspect for a long-term economic growth, profit, and job creation, as well as the critical component of any tourist destination. Tourism is a huge industry in many countries and cities. Did you know that? The most popular caves in the Philippines is the Calao Cave, and it is the best-known tourist attraction of the Cagayan province. Calao Cave is one of the more than 300 caves in vicinity of the Peña Blanca protected landscape and seascape. Calao Cave is made up of 7 chambers and the various formations: the column, the chapel, skeleton, elephant head, praying angel, rocket, lion's head, and dog's head formation. One of the most challenging experiences is the 184-step stair to the mount of the Calao Cave. The chapel is being featured so many times in tourism ad and podcasts. It is the main attraction of the cave as well as the whole Cagayan. It is the chamber turned into cathedral by locals. Unlike the other caves in the Philippines, you can even navigate by your own without tour guide. Hopefully someday, we don't want to protect environment. We want to create the world where the environment doesn't need protecting. Ang matinding bentang diva ng Marikina, Mika.
One's destination is never a place but a new way of seeing things by Henry Miller. Heritage tourism refers to visit to other locations that include historical stories. A lot of people are attracted to places with historical connections. One of the tourist destinations in Puerto Princesa, the Plaza Cuartel. It is located at Top Street, Puerto Princesa, Palawan. It is a place with a rich and tragic history. It was built by the Spaniards in the 1880s and used as a Japanese military camp during World War II. It may look like an ordinary park but it has a dark history. December 14, 1994, the Japanese army burned alive the 154 American prisoners. December 14, 1994 is also called as the Palawan Massacre. The Plaza Cuartel stands as a memorial to all the prisoners of war who were killed during World War II, as well as a tribute to those who managed to survive such a brutal death. The Heritage of the Past is the seed that brings forth the harvest of the future by Wendell Phillips. Ang sexy tita ganda ng Infanta Quezon, Debbie.
Embrace and enjoy our own heritage tourism while giving respect to different cultures. Heritage is our future. It represents stories and the past that we conquer and build toward the future. Heritage tourism is the best way to understand history by visiting cultural, historic, and natural resources. By traveling, you can experience how wonderful the places, buildings, artifacts, traditions, and culture we have. Though here in the Philippines, we have many places that offer heritage tours that you can enjoy. But it's all up to you where do you want to go, and the best thing that you will do is to search and find the right places to explore. So what are you waiting for? Let's find and explore the beauty of the Philippines. One of the best places that I want you to experience is the historical city of Vigan, located in Ilocos Sur. Vigan is a part of the UNESCO World Heritage List and best preserved example of a planned Spanish colonial town in Asia. A small city but having a very peaceful atmosphere and elegant style. At night, I'm very sure that you will like how the lights reflect the city of every town. You can experience heritage houses in Vigan, cobblestone streets. You can also enjoy riding in calesas while exploring the city and try delicious cuisine in Vigan that you will surely love. I believe in the saying that you are a person, part of the world, so you have to learn to embrace, accept, enjoy, and respect your past, present, and future. Unica Iya of Taguig, Dani.
No state can be powerful if it forgets where he came from. Instead, we must continue the unity to learn, preserve, and enrich our cultural heritage to build a successful country. Heritage, a simple word but holds everything. Your concepts, beliefs, cultures, or even ideals of life. It defines of who we are as an individual, live together as a community, and a solidarity as one country. The love and passion we have to our own heritage brings a meaningful source of identity and inspiration across the country. Philippines offers you a great travel experience, and one of these is the first capital and the oldest city. Welcome to the Queen City of the South, Cebu. Cebu attracts millions of tourists around the world every year, featuring its pristine beaches that you will definitely enjoy their island hopping, incredible marine parks, and of course their mouth-watering foods, especially their lechon de Cebu, a crispy roasted pork. And of course also Cebu is known for its historical stories, different shrines, landmarks, and monuments that have a story behind that deserves a recognition. Highlighting you the Heritage of Cebu Monument. It was built by the local artist Eduardo Castrillo that he started in July 1997 and inaugurated in December 2000. It was formed of concrete, bronze, brass, and steel that depicts the major and symbolic events in Cebu's history, in a great portrayal and illustration of sculptures. Events back from the time of conversion of Raha Humabon and his followers to Christianity, the local revolution against the Spanish rule, beatification of first Cebuano, Saint Pedro Calungsod, the first Roman Catholic Mass, and the disastrous battle on the island of Mactan, April 21, 1521, where a native chieftain Lapu-Lapu killed Ferdinand Magellan are all in this monument. It also includes the replicas of three significant churches in Cebu: the Basilica Minor del Santo Niño, Cebu Metropolitan Cathedral, and the St. John the Baptist Church. It also includes the Magellan's Cross, Spanish Galleon, and the statue of Sergio Osmeña Sr. Truly, a single monument that we need to protect, preserve, and conserve because it corresponds to the Filipinos' identity, history, and heritage, providing us with an understanding and a connection from our past to present and to future generations. Your sweet loving bunso of Tondo, Donna.
Preserving the Heritage, Promoting the Future by Becky William Martin. Cultural heritage is a group or society legacy of tangible and intangible heritage assets inherited from previous generations. It contains a sense of tangible culture such as monuments, buildings, landscape and books, work of art, and artifacts. And for the intangible culture includes such as knowledge, tradition, language, and folklore. One of the most historically significant tourist attraction is Santa Catalina de Alejandria Church located in Tayum, Abra. It is considered a national cultural treasure and is said to be the best maintained church complex in the province. The church was built in the 19th century by the secular clergy who were on a mission for the Tingian tribe. Across the church is the convent which was turned into a house for nuns and is presently a school. The church highlights our Palayok art features while early Tingian art, such as car baptismal window, is preserved at the bishop home in Baged. Its belfry, a water reservoir inside the structure, offers a view of the Cordillera Mountain, the Aber Valley, and the Aber River. If we are to preserve culture, we must to create it, by Johan Huizinga. Ang K-drama addict ng Montalban, Jed.
Maintaining one's culture, values, and traditions is beyond price. Many visitors are awestruck by the beauty of the Katsawa ruins, yet the church, the little town, and thousands of people had to endure the horrible situation in order for them to appear as they need to be. Kagsawa Ruins Park is different from other tourist sites because it sprang from an eruption hundreds of years ago. During the 1814 catastrophe, the belfry was all that remained in the town. Now, it is the most well-known tourist destination in Daraga Albay, never failing to astonish its tourists as it is also located against the spectacular background of its creator, the Mayon volcano, a national cultural asset that equal parts to historic and picturesque destination. A tragic past, but that tragic past where many people have died and left homelessness, have sacrificed themselves for a vibrant and active industry in the future. Conserve your cultural diversity, preserve for future identities. Ang shining dreamer ng Quezon City, Aji.
What's made in the past is what we have now. What we are creating today will be the future's history. Our history and cultural properties show how the history builds who we are now and what we will have tomorrow. Stories, practices, beliefs will be the treasure of all time. Culture is not all about historical places, cultural landscape, cultural festival, heritage asset, historic events, arts, and performances. It talks about everything. And when I say everything, everything that represents our identity and history of being Filipino. It speaks for who we are and what we believe in. In terms of God and religion, most of us are part of Roman Catholicism, so does the Cebuanos. They still exercise the oldest religious practice in the Philippines and continue to follow many saints and offer them devotion, prayers, and petition. The monetary of the Holy Eucharist, or popularly known as Simala Shrine in Cebu, is used to be an ordinary church not until the image of Virgin Mary has shown. Cebuano believes that because of this incident, their prayers and devotion will be answered along with the healing of physical and spiritual illness. Whether it is true or not, it is in the root of our culture to offer the utmost respect to the saints and to the God in heaven. Nelson Mandela once said, "Our rich and varied cultural heritage has a profound power to build our nation. Let us all cultivate our culture." This is your kabugera Tita Ninang ng Rizal, Irish.
Do you want to know what is the famous mountain in Marinduque? Mountains are deeply ingrained in Filipino culture. For Pampagueños, they have Mount Arayat. For Tagalogs, they have Mount Banahaw and Mount Pakling. But for the residents of Marinduque, they have Mount Malindig. This mountain is the largest on the island of Marinduque and the most famous climb and hikes for the mountaineers and hikers alike. And it is known for its unique environmental biodiversity. It is home to a variety of wild orchid species as well as the other endemic wildlife. It has been designated a protected area by law due to its elevation of more than 1,000 meters or 3,300 feet above sea level. The dormant volcano has 3 peaks that trek and climb to the highest point are rated easy to moderate. After passing the radio station based on the mountain, it is mossy and close canopy forest trek with regular foggy surroundings. It is also used as a cattle grazing area by the people of Buena Vista. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far they can go. Ang Ice Princess with Heart ng Quezon City, Trisha.
Climb the mountain so the world can see you, not so the world can see you, by David Macolo Jr. Every country, province, and numerous locations throughout the world have their own wonderful heritage sites that we need to protect and conserve, since they provide us with a lot of value and benefits. For example, Mount Halcon in Baco Oriental Mindoro Province. It is known as the hardest peak to climb in the Philippines. It is subjected to heavy rainfalls and flash floods on regular basis. Because of this hazard, the mountaineers believe it to be the hardest peak to climb in the Philippines. However, going there is more about admiring the beauty of it, since you can observe and interact with the local Alangan Mangyans. Many species of flora and fauna may be found in lush forest, including the highly endangered species, the Mindoro bleeding heart, which is indigenous to the region, and the stick insect Conlepasma enigma, which is identified during 2012. While admiring the beauty of Mount Halcons, remember that take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints, and kill nothing but time. Ang shining daughter ng Oriental Mindoro, Aye.
Ako,
Ikaw,
tayo, ang tagapagmana ng magandang kasaysayan, mata at boses ng nakakamismo.